This movement scientist OG figured out why you might move with stiffness, and it's probably not because you're inflexible. Decades ago, back in the USSR, Nikolai Bernstein would use motion capture technology to compare novices and experts as they performed all different types of movements. He discovered that novice brains, as a strategy to solve for a movement task, would freeze degrees of freedom, locking up movement in most of their joints so that their brains only had to control a few relevant joints rather than the hundreds of joints found in the body. So, freezing degrees of freedom is synonymous with stiff movement. Bernstein then figured out that in order for someone to free degrees of freedom, for someone to move more smoothly, they had to practice the movement.
We talking about practice.
To improve their balance, rhythm, timing, and body awareness, among many other things. Ultimately, Bernstein's big contribution to the field, at least in my opinion, is that stiff movement is actually the result of not being well practiced at a movement, that it's a motor control, or in other words, neurological problem, and not a flexibility problem. Most of us, if we're stiff and locked up, aren't just going to stretch away our stiff movement. Instead, we have to move in a variety of different ways while paying close attention to rhythm, balance, tension, pressure, and other pieces of relevant sensory input.